What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Six Figure Morning Show, where we give you the best advice in business and life. Thank you guys for all the likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. You already know I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys. And I mean that. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm fully aware that there is no me without you. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys for that. As always, if you see me out in public, feel free to speak. I do not look at any of you as fans. You like the show, you like me, the things that I feel free to always come up and talk to me. People see me all the time. They say hi. Sometimes I think some people are a little nervous or how you guys this is no different than Facebook or something. Sorry about the noise. I got my neighbor with his shit eating ass dog over here barking. I'm about to go over and whoop his ass. I got another neighbor out here with all this ghetto hoopla music bumping. I'm about to go out there and whoop his ass. So it's one of them days in the trailer park, man. Damn, it's killing me out here. But no, seriously, guys, if you see me out in public, whether it be in Nashville or Clarksville or anywhere, feel free to always come and speak. Feel free to always say hi. I'm always open to it. Feel free. Now, that don't mean that if you see me eating, leave me alone. But no, man, always feel free to speak. I love meeting you guys. Don't be weird. Boy, don't be weird. I got some weirdos out there. I got some stalkers. I got some guys that just hate me, man. I don't know what I did to them. I don't know. I don't know. It's a gray beard and the green eyes. That always a lot of motherfuckers hate that shit. But I've been on social media now. Let me get down to the nitty gritty. I've been on social media now since January of 2024. I've been on YouTube since the summer of 2024. I think like April or May of 2024. So I've been on YouTube for a year. And I started sitting back thinking about that and how unsustainable it is. And, I was like, man, which way am I going? For those that don't know, YouTube is very unsustainable for a creator unless you're really going to really create and you're going to make skits and shows and things like that. But there's really no way to do this without getting into reaction videos of some sort. I mean, it doesn't always have to be a reaction video, but it has to be something. But I sat down, I was thinking about the early days that got me here to where I am and how fast I got here, because I know people get on YouTube and they're on here for years. And, and they, for years just to get, 500 followers or 1,000 followers. So it got me down to thinking about the early days of my channel. Back when I used to talk to you guys about cleaning your life up, becoming your own CEO or becoming the CEO of your own life. Remember, America is a business and you have to learn to conduct your life like one. Nobody else is going to do it for you. Nobody's going to give this to you and get you to where you're trying to go. Nobody, and nobody cares. America is a business. You got to learn to play the game and you have to conduct your life like when you have to become the CEO of your own life. Business, stocks, real estate, these things I used to tell you guys. Remember that? Guys, but a lot of it, you don't really have to go back to college for these things. A lot of it's personal development. I used to tell you guys, you can still do this. You can go to the Project Management Institute, start learning project management. You can go and you can freaking do you can do corporate financial institute. Start learning. Excuse me, can't talk. Start learning the banking institution. That's corporate financial institute. CFI and PMI. Um, Personal development, self help. You sit back, you read, you self educate, you learn. Go learn Excel, go learn these internet programs that you need to learn. Go learn as much as you possibly can. That's honestly, to me, the secret of life is learning as much as you possibly can, not sitting stagnant, always moving forward. That college really isn't it. I'm not saying college is a bad thing. After me going to college, I'm cool on that. I do see the benefit in it. If you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, something of that sort, yeah, I got it. But if you're just going to college to study history, you just need to go to Books a Million, man. You don't need to go to college to study history. You don't need to go to college to study art unless that's really what you're going to do. Unless you want to be the director of a museum or you really want to be an artist or however, if that's really what you want, then by all means go to college for that field and put your head down and never come back and do that. But just to go and study and spend all that money is not worth it. It's not worth it at all. But, you know, to get to where I am, and I'm not even where I fully want to go, but just to get to where I am right now, I had to make some conscious decisions. And one of them started with cleaning my life up. I remember working at Texas Roadhouse, riding my bicycle, washing dishes. This is all after the Army, too. Child support had me in such a horrible situation. I've told that story many times on the channel, but this is all after the Army. Um, riding a bicycle, basically being homeless, having to wash dishes, just really degraded life, feeling embarrassed. I was like, this will never happen to me again. And some of you might be in that situation right now to where you're just miserable where you're at. But I was like, this will never happen to me again. And I had to make a conscious decision to start cleaning my life up. I had to get around the right people. I had to get away. I had to get away from the wrong people. I had to get the hell away from those people. I could not be around them anymore. All the Pookies and Ray Rays are sitting on the porch, they're drinking, they're smoking weed, doing nothing because they were dragging me right down with them. I knew I wanted more for my life. I knew I wanted to have a better life, and they were literally dragging me with them in their misery. Oh, the white man ain't never gonna let me have nothing, or I got 2 felonies, and all this bullshit. And I was like, my God, man, these people are depressing. They're going nowhere. They're doing absolutely nothing. That's when I really started to read. That's when I really started to take control of everything around me. I took responsibility for my life. Any mistakes, anything going on, it was my fault. Anything from the past was my fault. And I was like, this will never happen to me again. And I will never do this again. First thing I did was I deleted social media. I deleted social media, and I didn't put it on pause. I didn't take a hiatus. I deleted every platform I had, deleted all of it, and never set it back up. I completely disappeared from the world for 4 years, 5 years, really, for 4 solid years. I completely disappeared from the world. No social media. Didn't use the internet. Didn't use emails. Because I knew what I was going to go through was going to take time. This was not going to happen overnight, guys. There's no get rich quick scheme. If there was, I would have found it by now. There is no get rich quick scheme unless you're going to go out here and do some dirty shit. Unless you want to go out here and get involved in internet porn or whatever it is that you want to do. You want to go out here and do some dirty shit. By all means, that's your business. But for me, I wasn't willing to jeopardize my character, my morals, my standards, things like that. I wasn't willing to do that. So I knew I was going to have to go the old fashioned route. And that was going to be putting my head down and putting in freaking 12 to 16 hour days every day, 6, 7 days a week. I knew that's what it was going to take for me. That was the only way I knew. And that's what it looked like for me. And I did that young enough to start correcting my life now. That way, as I'm getting older, things won't be so bad for me. But the very first thing I did was I deleted all forms of contact. I got rid of the cell phone, dumped the emails. I stopped using the internet. I completely deleted all social media. I was a ghost. I disappeared. That's why when I came back on social media, I can jump on here and say whatever I want. You chose to come here and listen. So many of you are being held back by your social media platforms because you're worried what little Sally or Bob or John or whoever from 6th grade, 8th grade, 10th grade, or your church group or whatever thinks about you. Well, I can't say this because Sister Sarah would think it's rude. Or I can't say this because John from high school will think I'm talking about him. I can't say this because of that person or this person. I didn't give a shit. I came back on social media roughly 5 years later with 0 following, 0 followers on every platform, and I said whatever I wanted to. If they looked me up, they chose to come find me. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about because social media completely hinders you from moving forward. You're embarrassed of who you are. You're embarrassed of freaking things you can say. You hold back all the time on who you are. You got something you want to say about the police or about anybody, black people, white people, race, religion, whatever it is. You're completely scared to say it because you don't want to offend somebody. You don't want to embarrass yourself. You don't want to have to see these people at church. You don't want to have to see these people at school, and dump it. If it hinders you mentally like that, get rid of that shit. So the first thing I did, clean my life up. I deleted everything and everybody. I started from 0 because the people that were around me, the people on my social media, the people in my life, guys, I was already at this time, I was like 32 years old. 32 years on this planet. I've known these people, roughly most of them for 20 plus years, had gotten me nowhere by knowing them. I don't need them. I don't need them. I'd gotten absolutely nowhere with 20 years, 20 plus years of knowing most of these people. Dumped them, gone, I'm out. I started over fresh and I got to work. 10-hour, 12-hour, 16-hour days, 2 jobs, 60-hour weeks, 70-hour weeks, constantly worked my ass off. I got the debts paid off. This was a lonely process, man. I started paying off all the debts again. I started paying off all my debts. I sold everything I didn't need, lived a real minimalistic lifestyle, started paying off all the freaking debts to fix my credit. Income, cash, credit. You guys remember me telling you about that? So what I know now, I wouldn't go back that way. But we're not going to talk about that right now. I don't want to confuse anybody. This is what I did. I paid off all my freaking debts. Once all my debts were paid off and I was completely debt free, then I started stacking cash. Then I started, well, excuse me, I had got my emergency fund out of the way. I started paying off debts, and then I realized I needed an emergency fund. So I got my emergency fund out of the way of $10,000. I got that out of the way as fast as possible. Then I went back to paying off all my debts. And then once, man, it was a process. This was a 2-year process right here. So please don't think this happened overnight. This was a 2-year freaking process. So I started paying off all my debts, about 3 to 5 months of paying off debts, hitting them hard too, hard and heavy. 500 here. Every time I got paid, like I was living off nothing. I was eating noodles, beans, and rice type shit. Real Dave Ramsey, Financial Peace, snowball type stuff. I was living off of nothing. Canned goods, sandwiches, lunch meat, that type of stuff. And I was paying off my debts for about 5 months. And I realized, like, man, I need some cash just in case something happened. All through the whole thought process and self-education and whatnot. So, Dave Ramsey said $1,000. I was like, man, that ain't enough. I felt $10,000 was enough for me. And I still think $10,000 is enough for the average American family. $10,000 for the average family should last you about 90 days. And that's 90 days with absolutely no income coming in. That's roughly 90 days of survival right there. So I got myself to $10,000. And that took me probably the rest of that year. So I'd already spent, I'd say 5 months paying off debts. And then I spent the next 6 or 7 months getting myself to that $10,000. Now, that's all within the first year. 1 year. Okay. Let's be clear. This wasn't 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month. That was 1 year. By that second year, and I'm whiteboarding all of this at this process during this time. I got a whiteboard. So every day I'm having to look at this whiteboard of my progress. That second year was nothing but debt. I paid off all debts. I started calling, settling debts. Guys, I settled a $6,000 debt for like 500 and some change, like 580 or something. It's right under 600 bucks. I settled $6,000 worth of debt for less than 600 bucks. Seriously, it was like 585 or something. You could settle these debts if they're very old. So you just got to make the phone calls and be willing to talk to these people. But that next year, I paid off all my debts. I was $42,000 in negative debt. And I eventually got all that paid off. I was able to grab a credit card. I think the limit they gave me was $500 or $1,000. And I started using that like I teach you guys. I use my credit card every day and then I just pay it back. That way I constantly have this revolving door of credit that my credit is always being used. So I'd max that bad boy out. I'd say it's $1,000 limit. I'd put $700-800 on it and then I'd pay it right back off of my paycheck. You're spending the money anyway. What some people will do that's a major mistake is that you'll end up spending the $800 and then you'll spend the $800 paycheck, whatever it is that you're getting, instead of paying back your credit card. Pay your credit card back. Income, cash, credit. That's what I want. I got 3 to 5 years of verifiable income. I want cash stacked up. You go into the bank with 3 to 5 years of income, you go verifiable income, say $30,000 to $50,000 cash, and then say a 750 credit score, you're in the game. You can do whatever you want to do. You're in the game. Within reason, you can do whatever you want to do. You want to start flipping houses. You want to buy a house. You want to buy a trailer, a duplex. You get that together. Income, cash, credit. You're in the game. And that's where it starts. And then from there, you'll use your real estate, the equity in it, things like that to always borrow back. We talk about that at a later date if you guys want to. But so I started doing all these things. I had the job. I'm cleaning everything up. I got the cash saved. I'm starting to save cash. I'm building my credit surely but slowly, because right now I'm paying back the credit card. I'm working my ass off. I'm stacking cash. I'm doing all this the second year. That second year, I got all the debts cleaned up and I started moving into cash and credit. This is probably about month 7 or 8 in the second year. So I finished out the second year able to start making my budget, able to put back, say, $1,000 a month, and building my credit at the same time by utilizing that credit card every month to pay my bills. That credit card handled my Netflix, my Hulu, and whatever else that I had coming out. It handled all my television stuff. It handled the gas in the car. It handled my groceries, everything that I was going to have to buy with cash anyway. That credit card handled it. And that's how I live my life. By that third year, guys, I'm rolling. That third year, man, I'm trying to save $2,000 a month. I know some of you may not have that income, but I was doing the best I could to save roughly half my income, roughly. And so I'm putting together about $2,000 a month that third year, and I'm using that credit card. My credit limit went from like 1,000 to 2,500, and then by the end of that year, I probably had like a $5,000 credit limit by the end of that third year, because I'd been using the shit out of it and I'd been building it up. My income had been increasing. I'd been staying on the phone with Capital One at that time. I'd been on the phone with them always, figuring out when my due dates were and stuff like that, letting them know of my income every time it increased, stuff like that. Man, by that third, fourth year, yeah, I was definitely at a $5,000 limit, easy. I can't remember exactly the time frame on the credit card, but it was moving fast because I was doing everything I was supposed to do. So the way the credit card works is, once they realize that they're not loaning you enough, the only way they make money is if you owe them money. So whenever, they were only giving me $1,000 and I was able to max it out and pay it right back off, they realized they weren't giving me enough, so they bumped it up to 2,500. I'd max that out and pay it right back off. They realized that wasn't enough. After a few months, they gave me 5,000. So once you get to that limit, say 10,000 or 15,000, and they realize, okay, we got him now because he's not able to pay it directly back off. That's how they start making their money. But yeah, so paid off my debts, started stacking cash, working on my credit. And by that third year, I'm stacking cash. I'm just stacking, stacking, stacking. That was it, because I knew that there was going to be something in your life. There's always, how many times have you been there and was like, man, if I had some money, I'd buy this house, or I'd buy this old junk car, or I'd buy this piece of property, or I'd buy this, or some business going out of, whatever it is. I'd buy that old gas station, or I'd buy whatever it is. I'd buy that old crack house and fix it up if I had some money. Get some money. Get some money, because that's going to come back around. Guys, deals are everywhere. You got deals today, deals tomorrow, deals next year. Deals are everywhere. Money is transactional, guys. It's exchange of goods. That's it. The only money you need to save is enough for you and your family, an emergency fund. And when 10% of your income, whatever it is, I'd say try to have 10% of your income in savings. At least. I mean, at least. But like, if you had $1,000,000, I'd say you need to have 100,000 cash. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody handed you $1,000,000, I'd say put 100,000 somewhere in cash. Now, you leave it in the comments below. Let me know what you think about this. This is just my thought process. Let's keep it realistic. Somebody handed you $100,000 right now. I'm going to tell you to put $10,000 to the side. Go put it in a CD, whatever you want to put it into, some type of high yield savings on your mattress. I don't care what you do with it, but keep 10,000 in cash and then get ready to invest the 90. If somebody handed you $1,000,000, take 100,000 in cash and get ready to invest the 900. That's my thought process on that. So, again, money is transactional. That's all it is. It's for an exchangement of goods and services. And if you want to get really wealthy, then you need to make sure that the goods you are buying are income producing. Real estate, a business, a gas station, hell, man, go buy a damn railroad. Go buy rundown railroad tracks and clean it up. If you're into that type of stuff, you can do that. If you don't believe me, look around. You can find short line railroads all over the place. But what are you going to do with it after you get it? These are things that I look at. They're there. You can go buy railroad tracks for a little of nothing that are not in use anymore, and you can open them back up, but you got to make them operational. Little things like that, guys, that you got to be educating yourself on. That way, when you're riding around your hometowns, when you're riding around new cities, you're able to look through that business lens at all the potential in there. Go look at the something I'm looking at right now is a brick and mortar. It is a block and brick. I'm looking at, so go to your town, wherever you're at, and go down by the river. Who owns sand and gravel? And then somewhere not too far away from a quarry, from a sand and gravel spot, is going to be a guy that makes bricks. There's got to be in your town. There's always a block and brick place in every town. Go look. Keep a business lens. Blocks and bricks, foundations of homes. Guys, business is everywhere. Opportunity is everywhere. Don't just get stuck on. So many people talk to me about online businesses. I'm not really interested in online business. I like to focus on the real world. I'm an old school dude. I like to focus on the real world and what's going on out here. I like things like that. So I'm always looking at lumber companies, roofing companies, sand and gravel, block and brick, the railroad, oil and gas. I'm that kind of guy. I know everybody doesn't agree with me, but that's what works for me because I understand it. I talked to you guys the other day about focusing on what you understand. That's what works for me. For me, it's not opening up an e-commerce store. It's not those types of things. They will work. People make money at that. They will work. But for me, that's not what it is. For me, I'm interested, I'm grounded right here in the real world. I'm not a big tech guy. I don't really believe in all this stuff. I don't really like it. I prefer to be out here in the real world. We live in two different worlds right now. You got the world where you get cold, wet, and hungry. And then you got this one right here to where everything gets filtered out. Literally, filters. You got to watch what you say, watch what you do. Make sure you look pretty before you get on the internet so people don't make fun of you. We're developing a world of little narcissists, people that think they're better than what they are. That's what we're creating all around us. Kids, people with image, self-esteem issues. That's what we're building right here. We're running us as a human race. But anyways, hey, but from there, I realized that I know I'm bouncing all over the place, but I realized that I needed to clean my life up. And if it started with the people around me, it got real lonely during this process of paying off all my debt, stacking cash. That's where I developed the no man's land. I had to go through that. No man's land, for those that don't know, no man's land is that area of life where you're sick of the old you and you don't want anything else to do with that person, but you're still trying to build the new you and they haven't accepted you yet. You're tired of Pookie and Ray Ray sitting on the porch drinking beer, fucking off and doing nothing, but they don't like you or know you at the country club or the cigar lounge yet. So you're stuck right here in the middle where there's nothing and nobody. I don't know how long your no man's land is. Some days I'm still in it. I mean, I slowly get out of it, but to find people that are really equal to me is very hard to do. So I'm stuck in this no man's land process of people that don't, because I'm always around people that don't have my mindset, because I'm constantly striving for more. I'm constantly trying to learn about whatever it is, real estate, business, stocks. And it's difficult because I'm putting all these hours in at work. I try to come hang out with you guys on YouTube as much as possible. No man's land is a real place, and it is a cold, wet, and lonely place. No man's land. And if you really go down this road, each and every one of you are going to have to embark on it. And a lot of people can't handle this. A lot of people can't handle no man's land. I was legit in no man's land for 5 years with nobody and nothing. No support, no family, no friends, nobody believing in me. Motherfuckers making fun of me, laughing at me. I had nothing. I had no one. The girl I was dating at the time left me. And there goes all your friends when your girlfriend leaves, because most likely as a man, your life revolves around her. Your girlfriend or wife goes, there goes all the friends. They go with her. All the guys you were hanging out with were most likely mutual friends of her girlfriends or something, boyfriends of her girlfriends. So they all go too. I had nothing and nobody. And I'm not boohooing about that. I'm not whining about that. I'm just being honest because I know some of you are sitting back, when you're 30 years old, you're 35, 40 years old, and you ain't got no friends, you got nothing going on. You're probably in no man's land and don't even realize it. All you do is work. You're paying your debts, you're stacking cash, you're trying to get out of child support. Ladies, whatever's going on with you, there's a no woman's land as well. But you're doing everything you can to have a better life, and that old life no longer serves you. Pookie and Ray Ray are back here and they're talking shit about you. Look at Rob thinking he's this and that. Look at him thinking he's this and that. And here you are trudging along into no man's land. Cold, wet, and hungry. Dark and fucking lonely. I know. because I've been there. I've been there multiple times. I'm going back into it. I can feel it now. I'm going right back into it. Sometimes I come out and I take this little break and I do what I need to do. Take a little hiatus, try to step out, eat some good food, drink a little beer, and then I'm right back into it. I'm letting you guys know that's part of the process, but don't bullshit your way through it. Don't just sit on the couch watching TV, moping and blah, 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 ain't got nobody and all depressed and shit, drinking beer and trying to go out on Saturday night and fucking girls and doing dumb shit. No, stay solid, man. Stay locked in. Stay locked in. Go work your 40, 50 hours at your job and get home and study real estate. Go work your 40, 50 hours at your job and get home and build that side business. Make it happen for yourself. Nobody's coming, man. Start doing self-education, personal development. You got to start learning Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, all those things that you're going to need to be a supervisor. Start learning them now while you're in no man's land. That way, whenever it comes time, they say, well, you got any problems doing spreadsheets? You got any problem doing scheduling? You got any problems doing all these things? No, I don't have any problem doing any of that. Start learning those time management skills now, even though you're not there. I've told you guys a million times, don't wait to become a millionaire to figure out what to do with $1,000,000. Prepare now. Each and every one of you wants to be a millionaire. Each and every one of you wants to have $1,000,000 in the bank. Start learning what to do with $1,000,000 now. And while you're on that process of learning what to do with that money, you will start to open up all these windows and avenues, and all these different doors will just open up in your mind. And you'll be like, damn, I really enjoy real estate, or I really enjoy finance, or I really enjoy leadership, personal development, management. All these different things will open up. It'll open up so many different gateways in your mind because you're doing all this personal development, because one day you're going to be a millionaire. You might as well start educating yourself now on what to do with the money. Don't wait till you got it. Start now. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to let you guys have it for today. I hope each and every one of you have a great day. If you want me to go back in and start doing some of that old school content, redoing or reviewing some of those old videos that I used to do, man, leave it in the comments below. Let me know. But other than that, you guys have a great freaking day, and I'll holler at you later, man. Hey, thank you guys, though, for tuning in, for being here, for hanging out with me, all right? I appreciate each and every one of you. Take care.